theaters really, whether you know it or not, have to help develop artists. In my case, I was a young artist who first worked with Robert Woodruff, who, for my money, is the best director working in America. Yes. Was able to grow up as an American artist in America. I worked in La Jolla with him as an assistant. I worked again with him in Los Angeles. I went to England and went to school. I went to the Guthrie. I came to New York. I tried to make a life. I didn't really work for a while. I left again. I did a bunch of things. The same thing most people do when they're artists. But really my life in a lot of ways began when I met Jeffrey and I was able to start a real body of work here in New York, which is not only a central place to the larger culture, but is a place where you can really do extraordinary work. But it's not just my story. It's a story of a lot of artists who look to Tofana as a place to have a home for their work, as a place where they can tell stories, where they can work as actors, where they can work as designers. And so the building of this, and I followed Tofana to St. Clement's and to, at the Duke and, all the millions of places we've had to work, the Lucille Ortel, wherever it is. But the truth is that it's a central home for making the real work in New York. I've been lucky to work in all kinds of great spaces, whether it's the Vivian Beaumont where South Pacific is, or whether it's a Broadway space, or whether it's any of the regional theater spaces that you can. And I do think that the relationship and the sort of architectural ideas that are going into this particular space are extremely important to the kind of work that can both suit the text of a classical theater, meaning a close relationship of the audience but a sense of epic space, and at the same time can allow us to safely put a contemporary piece in there so that the programming can have some breadth to it. And so this particular space looks to me like it will be one of the best spaces in New York City and one of the best spaces in the country. So that's just a given. Okay. The next thing that a person needs to really, have a great theater is a passionate leader. And so one thing that people don't understand is the kind of longevity and the kind of devotion that Jeffrey puts into this theater over the amount of time that he's put it, and the way he loves artists. He's not a director. I think he thinks he might be a director, but he's not really a director. But what he is a person who really loves artists, who really cares about artists. It's not just me, whether it's Robert, whether it's Kay Warisky, whether it's Darko Trezniak, whether it's Earl Hindman, whether it's a number of great, Andy Weems, whether it's wonderful actors or directors. He loves artists, and his journey to really, really protect and develop and build this theater and speak for the arts and bring kids to the theater is an extremely important one. And without a leader like that, you can't really do this kind of work. And they're very rare, these people.